Well, hello, it's Training Tuesday. My name is Suzanne Castle, and every Tuesday morning I come live and hopefully give you some tidbits on how to live your life a little bit better. And this month I've been focusing a lot about burnout and self-care and stress because it just seems like it's all crashing back down, right? Like we've had this kind of downtime with the pandemic, and maybe we were discovering things about ourselves that we want to pick back up and things that we want to let lie. And as things begin to kind of come back our way or look a little bit different, I think we're beginning to feel that. And I was thinking about the question about, are we building a life, designing a life? You hear me talk about this a lot, that we love, that's accessible to us, or do we long for someone else's? So that might look like you're building a business and you see someone else's success and you long for that. Or it looks like somebody has everything because they've got multiple houses and boats and all the things and they travel all the time. And you just feel this kind of longing. I'm not saying jealousy, but this kind of longing to have that too. You know, Theodore Roosevelt once said that comparison is the thief of joy. And when it comes to making comparisons between your life and others, your business and other people's business, you're fighting a losing battle and sucking the joy out of your life and your business when you're stuck in that comparison trap, that comparison thing. So when you begin to find yourself in that place, and we all do it, it all happens to the best of us. You know, we find ourselves, we're only looking at the outside image. There's someone that once said, you know, you're seeing someone else's middle or end of their story, and maybe you're just beginning, right? I think that's very helpful because we're not privy to the inner workings of that business or that life or that structure or what they've given before you see it in that moment. And you don't know what happens behind the closed doors, right? And nor do you have control over the actions of other business owners. You don't know. You just look at the social media feeds. You just see what's in front of you, right? And let's be honest, most of us don't just vomit up all the yucky stuff happening. We only show the good sides of things. So instead of focusing our attention on what they're doing, right? This morning, we're going to focus on our goals and the actions that we can control, which I promise you will take your stress level down just a notch in just a niche. So the first thing that I want to invite you to consider is maybe you need to change your mindset. So you hear me talk a lot about this. I hear a lot of business coaches, a lot of consultants say, I should be further along than I am. I'm in a business group and I think some of us struggle with that a lot, meaning I've been in business for X number of years. I should be making so much more money, or I have this amount of education, or I'm this age and I should already be at this level in my life, right? Well, I find that these comments usually come on the heels of hearing about somebody's full speaking calendar, right? I'm a speaker. Sometimes that happens for me. Or when you see someone who has a tremendous launch or success, or somebody gets the job of their dreams, or they retire early, right? Who wouldn't want that kind of success, right? But in reality, a lot of those places come from that yucky, jealous place. And I think it's time for us to just be honest about the fact that we do get jealous of other people. Success always seems to come so easily to others, right? We love the pull ourselves up from the bootstraps, but we just want that end product, maybe not all of the work. With the Olympics coming on, we're hearing these stories of Olympians who get up at 4:30 in the morning and take a family member to work and come back and get little kids ready and then go to practice and then go to school all day and then go to work and then practice again and go to bed at like 11 o'clock at night, only to get up at 4 a.m. the next day and start it all over again, right? We don't see all of those steps, but we're forgetting, or maybe we simply don't know how long that person's been writing their book, let's say, or how many no's they had before they landed that job or that speaking gig. How many times they've had to stop something because they were intentionally being about family and not about the trappings of success, right? So instead of us wallowing in our self-pity, we all get in this place. I think an important thing that I do that may be helpful is I try to stay on my own action plan. You've heard me say water my own grass, right? My own action plan on how to reach what I'm trying to do in the world, which don't have to be those in this example or anyone else's. They are only yours. I teach a whole course on finding your extraordinary vision and taking action on your dreams. So one of the things we want to do is we want to, surround ourselves with other successful people that are at the same level or higher that we are, mentors who just listen to us and help us think clearly, a coach, for example, maybe even people that are going to help us publicize what we're trying to do and hold our feet to the fire. But we need to take an action plan and detail the steps out, and then we tweak it to fit our own lifestyle and what seems best for us. If any of these tips resonate with you, let me know by giving me a comment. Let me know if you're watching live or on replay. The second thing that I was thinking of when I was thinking about how we long for other people's success is I think sometimes it gets squishy for us because we haven't necessarily maybe defined what success looks for us. So we want to definitely do that. While we marvel at 7-figure product launches or extensive speaking calendars or someone that got to buy a boat and live in their dream house, we need to define what success looks like for our own selves. So your goals don't have to match those of your mentors, those of your coaches, those of your friends, those of your parents, those of peers. Your goals should be very, very personal. Your why should make you cry. You've heard that before, right? Once you define your success, I think it's much more easily accessible to you to then say, here's my action plan. Here's what I'm committed to. Here's what it looks like for me. I'm going to reverse engineer the ending to now. And just remember that everyone has a path of success, but they definitely won't be identical. So we don't want to get into that comparison game again. And maybe it's different for you to think about this, but my question that I ask a lot for my own clients is, how are you relaxing? How are you taking care of yourself? Because one way to get clear about your end goals and plan your action steps is to take time daily for self-care and for relaxation, for having fun, for taking a break and not feeling guilty about that. You need time away from your work to quiet your brain, to be in just the presence of greatness and beauty that's all around us, to simply focus on something that's other than that urgent, that to-do list, that all the things. It may sound counterintuitive, but we hear stories all the time of people getting inspiration while in the shower, right? Moms who lock themselves in their bathrooms just to have a moment alone. Stand-up comedians who keep notebooks by their bedside because they dream about their next great joke, right? But you can only do that when you're taking a break, when you're relaxing, when you're allowing your brain to work in the background on the thing, right? But you're just enjoying what's in front of you. You get up, you take a walk. You hear me talk about getting oxygen in your brain is such a powerful force and a motivator. So let me ask you, how are you relaxing your mind? How are you relaxing your spirit? How are you allowing creativity to find you? Or you just not have any white space in your calendar, so you just don't have time for any of that, right? And I think another thing that would be important for us to consider is how we might need help relaxing. We're not alone in that. You know, again, just like goals look different person to person, so does relaxation and self-care. Business owners complain to me all the time. They don't have enough time in the day. I have, frazzled moms who are working and taking care of kids and sometimes taking care of parents, and they have no time for their own selves. How could we even find time to relax or possibly do something fun? Is that you? It's me from time to time. You're hearing me talk about it all month long because that takes time away from those things, of course. But sometimes inspiration comes from the time away from the office, away from the urgent. And you do need to put your own oxygen mask on, as flight attendants tend to say, right? So you need to get away from the successful brags in your circle. You need to do your own thing. So I want to invite you to something because we all need help in this, right? So if you need some self-care tips that don't cost a lot of money, that will help you quiet your brain, I want you to grab a seat at my free workshop because we're all in this together. I'm calling it 5 ways to practice regular self-care even if you don't think you have the time. Is that you? Okay, so all you have to go is to strategicselfcare.live. strategicselfcare.live. It's July the 28th. I'd love to see you there. It's going to be at noon Central. It'll be about an hour. I'm going to be live. This isn't a recorded webinar. I'll take your questions and we're going to figure out the best way forward for you, for me, and for each other to help hold each other better to a different state of being so that goodness and greatness can find us. I'm Suzanne Castle. This was your Training Tuesday, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll see you soon.